South America. We've gone into Europe and in Eastern Europe and in Central Europe, and we have done extra work in Canada, so that today, despite the disruptions of which I speak, and the fact that we had a soft winter, we are now back into growth ways. And in the last 3 months, Prime Minister, this first quarter of the fiscal year, we'll see growth from tourism, and our GDP growth is going to be in a better place. Madam Speaker, I'm particularly pleased to highlight the success of our market diversification strategy in emerging regions. Latin America produced 13.2% more stopover arrivals for 2024 calendar year versus 23, while the Caribbean region generated an impressive 25.1% more stopover compared to the previous year. Madam Speaker, the challenges of 24 were complex and would have overwhelmed destinations lacking in strength, fundamental and strategic leadership. Jamaica faced the lingering impacts of a widely publicized U.S. travel advisory, severe weather events, including Hurricane Beryl and Tropical Storm Raphael, and persistent rainfall. And added to this were the U.S. election year travel slowdowns, high interest rates, inflation, aircraft supply chain issues, cyber disruptions, and ongoing geopolitical instability. Yet, despite these headwinds, Jamaica has retained its leading position as a regional tourism and remains a top choice among the global travelers and industry professionals. Speaking of global challenges, we welcome the U.S. government decision to lift the advisory on travel to Jamaica from level 3 to 2, and extend heartfelt thanks to our Prime Minister again, whose strong leadership and skilled negotiations were instrumental in making this a reality, with the support of our National Security Minister, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And I want to especially single out the ambassador, Jamaica's ambassador to Washington, Senator now the Honorable Audrey Banks. Madam Speaker, we want to particularly celebrate the excellent work of the Jamaica Tourist Board, now celebrating its 70th anniversary as the destination's marketing organization, and indeed the #1 destination marketing organization for the Caribbean. And the fact that they have been there for 70 years, and Madam Speaker, they have become, and this is arguably, the most efficient tourism bureau in the world, the Jamaica Tourist Board. And we say that without fear of any contradiction. This tourist board takes a budget of less than 20 million US and turn over 4.3 billion US dollars in the year. Madam Speaker, the industry has grown as a result of the excellence of the Jamaica Tourist Board. And I want to use the opportunity to commend the past chairman, the past directors, and the past ministers too of tourism, who have helped to channel and manage this facility and this board over the years.
Call up everybody, let them know, say we are on, and we're getting ready. Yeah, man, we're getting ready. Yes. Good evening, everybody. Everybody in the chat room, good evening and welcome. Yeah, we're coming to you from outside the studios today. We're not in the studio, so we're just waiting on time, right? Well, it's Ed Bartlett.
Jamaica has Usain Bolt, the Honorable Usain Bolt, as our tourism ambassador. Madam Speaker, we have recognized the importance of building a future around innovation. We have recognized the importance of building both sides of the tourism economic divide. We've talked a lot about the demand that tourism brings to the economy. We've talked a lot about how to link the demand to the supplies, but we haven't done enough about that. And I'm proud to say that over the period, we established the tourism linkage network, which really was an improvement on the tourism linkage hub that was there prior to my ascendancy as minister. And what we have done with the tourism linkages network is to connect every sector. We speak of linking tourism with every Jamaica's success. We're not engaging in political rhetoric here. We are referring to concrete actions, measurable results, and transformational initiatives that create opportunities for farmers, manufacturers, artists and hairdressers, taxi drivers, tour operators, chefs, content creators, and many other workers across Jamaica. Our newly appointed Minister of State, when he was given his task, was tasked, in fact, by our Prime Minister to play a leading role in engaging the various sectors and individuals so that we could build navigable pathways and strategically align to achieve mutual success and outcomes. This human effort on his part in the few months that he's there had enabled the evolution of working across government and private sector groups. It has been able to bring these people together. And in a short time, Madam Speaker, we are seeing how the tourism linkage network is beginning to integrate itself fully into the supply chain of the industry. Through 5 specialized networks and 2 technical working groups, the tourism linkage network promotes experiential tourism while reducing import dependency, expanding local opportunities, and enhancing the authenticity that workers seek. These focus areas, Madam Speaker, of agriculture, manufacturing, gastronomy, health and wellness, knowledge, shopping, and sports and entertainment are aligned to ensure tourism spending stays within the economy, benefiting Jamaican producers and communities. Tourism touches every sector of the economy with more powerful multiplier effects. 15% of construction is connected with tourism. 10% of finance is connected with tourism. 20% of manufacturing. 21% of utilities, agriculture, and fisheries. In other words, Madam Speaker, tourism is really a confluence of all the moving parts within an economy that must come together seamlessly to create the product that we market. And we are proud to say that in every point along that value chain is wealth. And almost every element that is involved there can indeed testify that they have grown, expanded, and done better. The transformation that we have seen in agriculture through the tourism demand is evident. And the Minister of Agriculture, in his speech, made a very telling story with regards to those linkages. We created the Agricultural Linkages Exchange, known throughout the industry as ALEX.
Hello?
The problem is that, frankly, the government has undermined its own integrity on a few
Hello?
issues, and therefore, whenever they do something now, people wonder what am up to, right? And that's what is going on now.
And we continue to demonstrate remarkable success in connecting our farmers directly with hotels and food services providers across the chain. And we indicated already that we are looking now that Alex will facilitate in this year 3 million kilograms of produce valued at $450 million. In just the first 4 months of this year, we have already earned $100 million for the farming communities of Jamaica. It is indeed important to highlight, Madam Speaker, that these figures form part of the overall agriculture produce sales in the tourism industry. A really small portion, because when we have done this study, it indicates that the value for just fresh fruits and vegetables is more than 363 billion Jamaican dollars. And so what the small farmers are doing is mere dropping the bucket, so to speak. And we now require the larger players to become involved. Our Prime Minister has been championing the cause for special arrangements to be made and long-term contracts to be crafted between hotels and our agricultural producers. And I'm proud to tell you that that is very much on the way. And already we have had commitment from our large hoteliers to be able to do this, providing, of course, we build the capacity to enable a certitude of flows at the time when required. And I'm sure that that will happen, because once these long-term contracts are crafted and put in place, then the banks will respond. And when the banks will respond, then the farmer...
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law do we meditate day and night. For we shall be like trees planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth our fruit in our season. Our leaves shall not wither, and whatsoever we do shall prosper. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show for yet another Tuesday evening. Welcome to all my peeps on Caribbean Radio HD. Yeah, man. Right across the world. Welcome to all the people on Portland Spice TV at YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm on my way to 5,000. I think right now we need less than 100 to get to 5,000. And we are saying to everybody become an ambassador. So subscribe to the channel, like the channel, and we ask that you click the notification bell so whenever we are on, you're on. What an evening this evening. A whole heap of things we have to talk about this evening. Lots and lots of stuff this evening. I mean, the news cycle in Jamaica is hot. Israel bomb Iran, Iran bomb Israel. What is going on in the world? How is that going to affect Jamaica? That is going to affect our oil price. We're going to be talking to Ralston Ironman this evening. And depends on what is happening in the parliament, we are supposed to talk to Omar Newell. But of course, he is in the parliament because Dr. Maurice Guy, the MP for Central St. Mary, should be making his final presentation in a sectorial debate in the parliament today. So Omar is there to give him support. So whenever the time is right, if it gets there, we are going to be talking to Omar Newell about some of the things. Now, those of you who have been following Jordan and this, do you feel the government is doing enough to reduce poverty and unemployment? Yes says 26.9%, no 61.7%, and don't know is 11%. So yeah, I told you all the other day that another poll is coming, and it is the poll that I have more respect for, the Dan Anderson poll. That is the poll that I believe is more independent of influence from any one of the political parties. So they've been giving us some reports since Sunday, and the latest one was the one I just read a while ago. And the question is, do you feel that the government is doing enough to reduce poverty and unemployment? And the numbers are startling. People who are saying yes, 26.9%. The people who are saying no, the government is not doing enough, 61.7%. And the people who say that they don't know, they are at 11%. So, what is this? Seeing something here with a picture of Leroy Gibbons. Leroy, I'm a friend. Reggae art. I don't even want to read this now, because I just click on it now and don't want to read it, you know. This is saying that reggae artist Leroy Gibbons is dead. And the article is saying IRFM understands that he collapsed in Hanover this morning. In confirming the news, a stunned King Jammys told IRFM that Gibbons collapsed at a studio in Hanover. This as the legendary producer reflect on their close relationship, their close friendship. So, shocking news to me. And this is somebody I know personally. I've worked with on a number of occasions. And very sad for me to hear about the passing of the legendary Leroy Gibbons. Yeah, man. Gibbons, I'm a brethren. Whole heap of time we carry him on Jerk Festival. And to hear this now is very sad. But the amount of people them were just a drop out from with the Rasta. The amount of people them were just a drop out. Just a drop out, so. No normal. No normal at all. It's very sad, you know, to hear the amount of people where just a pass. Now, there's a brethren sending me several messages and wants me to talk about this issue with the Auditor General. And it's an issue that I have been researching and looking at it and digging deep, because I don't like to comment on things that may not dig deep enough. One dig deep in the thing them before. Hold on. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, my peeps. Yeah, I don't like digging at things where I don't get the fullness. I want to get the fullness of it. And I've been doing some work and doing some research on the Auditor General. Somebody sent me something that section 120, 121, and 122 of the Constitution says that the Auditor General ought not to be a part of the Integrity Commission. My reading is different. It's not so. However, one of the problems that we are having with this move is that with a government that is under the kind of scrutiny that this government is under, for them to do any kind of movement with any of these institutions right now is something that the country at large not going to find favor with. Not going to find favor with. And that's one of the problems that we are having. Because everything is going to people are freedom. Hello, good evening.
Hello. Colin?
Yes.
I just called you before your guests coming because yesterday I have Ralston and my good friend beside me from Central sent me with some good news for you and your viewers.
Yeah.
Delana Sibright
Yes.
has now been officially announced by the Labour Party as the man to replace Mr. Samuda in North Central St. Andrew.
Yes, I've heard
So
that.
So you know that is a good news for the country and the people, and that seat is in the GLP column because you know Sibright is a heavyweight. I also have good news to tell you that all the canvassing have shown that the Jamaica Labour Party will retain back government winning the third term, and the PNP will not win this upcoming election.
All your canvas have shown that.
My all the canvas so far from all the 63 seats have shown that the Labour Party
How many
will
seats are going to win?
Well, so far we guarantee 45 seats as sure win. And
What? You get?
And finally, as someone who follow your show during the week and weekend,
Yes.
I notice as we're getting very close to the election, it looks as if he is losing some weight.
You look like who?
He's losing some weight as we get close to the election.
Who losing the weight?
You.
Me?
Eh.
Well, I want to. I'm gonna swell my head because I want to. I would mind shed a 30 pound right here now over there. So that is the best news that you come with.
My advice to you and my good friend O'Brien from News Talk, who is hiding from me, no matter how I try to get onto his program. My advice to you guys is to make sure you do some art tests. And then find out if you don't need no medication, stack up on the medication.
Because there's something I want to understand.
Yes.
I hear Desmond McKenzie say that the labor rights will not surrender Jamaica to the PNP ever again.
Yes.
What does that mean? Because I have concerns about that kind of thing.
If the truth to be told, honestly, the way how he come across so frightening, poor thing, it just politics style. He shouldn't have expressed it that way because it doesn't sound good. But then somebody will tell you that Mark Colin himself tell you, say, comrade, we have to pressure them, we have to get serious on them, we have to lick them wicked. So those way in expressing is not in the own soul.
But I can explain what Mark Colin means. Mark Colin means that we have to debunk the lies that you guys are telling, because you guys are telling a whole lot of lies, and we have to bring it to books. But when you say you won't surrender the country ever again, the question I want to ask, if the people of Jamaica vote out this government, will the PNP be allowed to take up government?
Him don't mean that, but as I am someone who don't hide or I see it, him don't mean that. But sadly, he shouldn't have and I think he is repeating. I think he said it before.
It's the second time I'm saying it.
Yes.
So do you think that he needs to come out and explain to the Jamaican people what he really mean? The kind of sound good, and then the Prime Minister said he don't need no opposition. Also tell me what that means.
No, those look here, man. Just like you, we're in the silly season now, and you guys will say things just like, and we don't want that in the politics.
No, but we have had a lot of elections in Jamaica, and we have never heard those two before.
Before I forget.
All right, go ahead, continue. This is Nephew, right?
Yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, man. Cool. The poll for the GLP in East Portland and West Portland look better than years gone by.
So tell me so. Respond to this for me. Because you know that RGR group has asked Dan Anderson to go out and do a poll.
Yeah, right? Man, they're releasing poll now, this evening.
And yesterday, the question was, do you feel that the government is doing enough to reduce poverty and unemployment? A whopping 26.9% says yes, the government is doing enough. Is that comforting?
Look here, Colin. Look here. You have to be careful how you put those numbers into context, because as you already know that unemployment in this country is at its lowest since slavery. You understand me? More people have been working. Yes, people tell you that the minimum wage is still not able, but we are doing far better now compared to where it is.
You remember that there's about almost 600,000 young people who are outside the workforce who say them now look no work because the work with them I get it better than no work.
They say that, but they are surviving, they are living, and that's why they don't want to work.
But look here.
But
The Donna Anderson poll also says 61.7% said no, the government is not doing enough.
Colin, take my advice. The most important thing in all the poll is party standing.
All right, and that will be coming. That will be coming. So let me ask you something. When it come, whatever it say, you may accept it.
What? No. If you is someone who follow me over the years.
No, I've not been following you because I don't go. I try to listen over your side, over that station from down the road. But them tell too much lies.
I am someone who don't rubbish poll. What I do, all right, I'll give you an example. You remember just before the local government election, the Dana and the poll said that the PNP, they have a slim lead. Not a slim lead, a big lead in the parish of Portland. You remember that?
Yes.
And you, Mr. Vase, we are going to use the poll to add and to guide us the way forward in doing our work. And he do that, and what happened? Portland turned out to be one of the best performing parish in the local government election for the Jamaica Labour Party. The same amount of seat they go in, the same amount of seat they come out with. Because Anne-Marie Vaz and Daryl Vaz, in which you will not question, is doing a wonderful job to make the life of the people in Portland improve. And you know that, Colin.
You called me the other day, you tell me you come from Portland. Why you lied to me?
No, hold on, Colin. I watch your chat room. I am really from St. Mary, but I have my roots in Portland. And please don't make me let the post out to the bag and get me.
Which part of Portland your roots there? Because the people say lie and you come from St. Mary.
No. Colin, you forget me so easy. You don't know that I campaign and I have my roots in Buff Bay.
Which part of Buff Bay?
You don't know the old scheme on the T side there.
What the old scheme here?
All right. Stockholm.
Nephew, when you come to Portland, we mash you up, man. Don't do it.
No. I am not. I am not questioning you as a ban. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. The fact that the Prime Minister's statutory filing has not been certified is of no concern to you?
Colin, the Prime Minister had made it clear to the nation that he provided all what the IC as requests of him. To satisfy his declaration, and for what reason they may say, well, they say that they are not satisfied. The matter is before the court now, Colin. Make us wait until the ruling of the court now, Colin, man.
So let me ask you something. Hold on. So the matter is in the court, but the Prime Minister is also seeking a third term. And my argument, nephew, is that I will not employ anybody who is under investigation for stealing.
Hold on. Yeah, we are not saying that the Prime Minister is under investigation for stealing.
He is. What is illicit enrichment?
Then, Colin, why?
Look for the word illicit. Forget the enrichment part of it. And just look up the word illicit, what it means.
And you must tell your listeners, your viewers, that the person who sit on the IC to advise them where that is concerned to make arrest or not, advise the IC that she has not seen anything for the Prime Minister to be arrested.
Not true, nephew. Not true. That's not true.
Colin.
Let me tell you something, nephew.
If you're going to have a reason, take off your PNP cap.
No, but it's not true. But what you're saying is not true. PNP no. What you said a while ago is simply not true. The last report did not go to the Director of Corruption Prosecution for a ruling. Did not go to her for a ruling. So she could not
Colin,
rule on it.
I am talking about what was the document which was sent.
Let me help you. It's 3 times, 3 different cases the Prime Minister have had before the IC. You remember? The first one with a company called Wiscon. Remember Wiscon? Remember that investigation?
Yes.
Where the Director of Corruption Prosecution said on the first and second count, she found enough evidence to charge the Prime Minister. You remember that? But
no, sir, I don't remember.
Well,
I don't remember that.
Nephew, go look up Wiscon. The Director of Corruption Prosecution, Ms. Prince Tamika, said she found enough evidence to charge the Prime Minister. However, she will not charge him based on the amount of time that has passed. That's why she said she's not charging him. The second one was the 2 bank accounts with his mother and his father. And she said she don't see anything in those to charge the Prime Minister.
Thank you very much.
The third one, this is the one with the 28 bank account. This is the one where them said the Prime Minister used charitable funds to buy stocks and bonds. This is the one where them say somebody lodged $4 million in the Prime Minister account and we don't know who it is. This is the
4
one.
million.
4 million. 4 million. This is the one that them said the Prime Minister shift $400 million between bank accounts. This is the one that they said Mayberry lent the Prime Minister $50 million without the proper collaterals registered.
Mayberry are buried. Mayberry are buried.
My apologies. Thank you for the correction. Berita lent the Prime Minister. So that one, and that is also the one that they said the Prime Minister filed nil tax returns. That is the one that has been sent to the FID for further investigation and to TAJ for further investigation. So that one never got to the Director of Corruption Prosecution. So she couldn't say she not find nothing.
Colin, I know that the PNP afraid of the name Dr.
What I said a while ago, is it true or a lie? All that I explained, are those true?
The Prime Minister have given the go-ahead to go to the court. And the matter is in the...
So me just ask you for me just say true, because you said that she said she not find nothing to charge the Prime Minister.
That is so why he has not been charged if she recommended that he be charged?
She did not. You're not listening, nephew.
I heard you.
No, you're not listening, so I can't help you. I try to help you, but you don't want to help.
No. You want to go down a political PNP road.
No, man, we're going down a road that the Integrity Commission said, and the Justice, the former chairman of the Integrity Commission said, these are not mere allegations. They are statements of facts.
I hear you on your program.
Don't move. Hold on, don't move. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show on Caribbean Radio HD. Hello? Neville, back with you.
Yes, I hear you on your program. I said that this government is the most corrupt in the history of this country. Colin, let me tell you, because maybe you did have foreigner where I don't know. I involved in politics from in the 70s as a PNP. And I am telling you that when the PNP were there, and you hear about cost overrun, this country have lost. Well, I'm going to finish the point. This country have lost billions and billions and billions of dollars to corruption under the PNP government over the years. Unbelievable.
Neville.
Yeah,
Neville.
you will say that
Neville.
the Cornwall Hospital. You will say,
yes, Neville.
you will say that the
Knock out
Cornwall
yourself.
Hospital.
Knock out yourself.
Eh?
Knock out yourself.
No. It's the difference between me and you.
Knock
I am
out
dealing with it.
yourself. There is no overrun or corruption in Jamaica bigger than the Cornwall Regional Hospital.
Under this GLP government, the word cost overrun have used less and any other time less under the PNP. Every day you have something come up, cost overrun. I remember a PNP MP who buy a kitchen sink for 70,000 when the sink value 2,000 at the time. I hear you.
Any overrun where PNP ever have or any other GLP administration, because I believe it's in Evio that if you put all past GLP administration and all past PNP administration together and all the accusation of corruption in them two administrations, this single administration led by Andrew Woolness beat them bad. Bad. If you remember, so let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I want to tell you. Any overrun in a past PNP administration or a past GLP administration would normally come in thousands and hundreds of thousands. And every now and again you might get million. This year government you overrun them in a billions, brother. I'm giving somebody else another chance. You keep listening.
Yeah, we talk again.
I was so much labor right to call me from back to back. Where you are?
I want to twist up never chat there with me, twist him up there.
No, hey, Showman. You know,
never chat there with me, twist him up.
Showman, you know why we have an open phone line where anybody can call me? Truth and GLP now the Latin part. So it's just truth me use beat on every time, just the truth.
Okay, I use your truth beat nobody, brother.
What you mean?
Oh, you're talking that truth. How long you join the PNP party for?
Yeah, PNP from a band.
How long you be councillor for?
I've never been a councillor. I'm going to run one time.
You run one time?
Oh, I run one time for the PNP. I'm going to run independent one time. So
you run independent? Oh, okay. Yeah, but you're not going for the MP right there?
Yes, man. Yeah, I mean.
So why don't you turn it down?
You asked me already, I'm going to tell you, you know. We have two top men in the constituency we need to support me.
Two top PNP?
Yeah, man. We need that.
So why them in the constituency and you burn down them no want to support you?
You don't know, see, I saw some black people still.
And a draft your man out the road all get beaten there now?
No, I get no beaten still.
Yeah, hear me? Me not stay long with it, but you hear that little word there now. You hear that word there?
Yeah, listen.
A black man time now, the king time now. no Marky G time here now. And the king time, black man time.
You don't want no king of Jamaica. Sure, man. Little word. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Colin.
Yes, Marshy.
Evening. You can't change your mic. You because we are here the call of them good, but your mic not sound so good. Did it not sound like you die in an empty room?
Oh, that mic, yeah.
Yeah, it now comes to clear.
We're outside. Let me see if I can do any better upon it. We're outside and we're using this kind of mic, yeah. It's a mic that's supposed to give us what we want, but I don't know my sound now. Well, we have the room that we're in is not a studio, so it might be giving you a hollow sound. How sound? We sound any better?
Well, on the phone now, but when I go up on the TV, I have to check. But on the phone, I hear you quite clearly.
Hold on. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Sir Bell.
Welcome to the Colin Bell Show. How are you doing?
Not too bad, Sir Bell. Boy, I don't know you're telling me some money attack. Foolish that you know, because when you meet them with the truth, them turn idiots and they're not a friend.
Yeah, and that's why I like. That's why I want them come over here. We welcome them because when they're at their other place and tell the lies goes unchallenged. So I like when them come over here, because when them also know the lady says she don't find nothing to charge the Prime Minister. And then something them have a trick the people in because they're not talking. It's 3 different reports this Prime Minister have had from the Integrity Commission. 3. 1, the lady said on the first and the second count, she find enough to charge him. And then the one with the parents them account, she said no, she don't find nothing. The third one did not go to her. So she couldn't rule on the third one. The third one has been sent to the FID and TAJ for further investigation. Yeah, so we don't want them to come tell the people in the lie.
And that's why she couldn't get by the word, because that's why the new chair lady at the Integrity Commission said she needs that to apply.
Oh, we never even go into that detail, but I know.
Remember her partner, she needs not to apply. I remember when the most minister of education, she did catch, she's with the charge and said was told, she can't, but I got to make her fines for the witness.
Right, that's the Wisconsin case. That's the Wisconsin case. Right. Where she said on the first and the second count, we found enough evidence to charge the Prime Minister. However, she said she not going to charge him because of the passage of time. And there was no statute of limitation on that crime.
Of crime, right.
You understand?
So even when I understand how you entertain Shawman, Shawman,
I'm a general, man. We don't want nobody to diss up Shawman. Shawman, I'm a general. I'm want Shawman call me all the while. Like when Shawman call me, I'm a general.
What I want you to say is me even that man attack for the VARs, them do this at the VARs and that. Can you tell me?
Hold on. We've got somebody that march. Hold on. Let me have march before we finish with march and come back to you. And then we'll get Ralston on the line. Yeah, march.
Yes. Well, Panaphone, may I hear you good Panaphone? And we have to go work with. Well, let me tell you something. You see, nephew, when nephew said a while ago, you have a caller named nephew. Listen to me good. You hear when nephew said it while?
Yeah.
You have a caller named nephew, right? Well, nephew not believe what nephew said a while ago, right? You get that? Good. Yeah. Cliff Hughes, our name favorite. I mean, what's a Cliff Hughes supposed to laugh after him anywhere in there now, right? Because everybody knows I'm mad this matter. But let me tell you something. You want me to tell you how like the JLP and their supporters is? The local government election. They lose the local government election. And they come and tell you say they win, right?
Yeah, man.
Good. Now, concerning Portmore become a parish. Them go court with it, you know. Or the PNP take them to court. You know what them lose?
Yeah, man.
You know what them run out and say they win?
Yes. and they can't name Portmore a parish, I know.
And they can't
name Portmore a parish, but them win. Rubbish.
These guys are something else, right? And concerning when I talk about Darrell Vaz and Portland, this time around, the PNP will not allow Darrell Vaz to have about 9 o'clock in a polling station and vote.
Let me tell you something. What come out of one JLP meeting in East Portland. They said they thought they got rid of Colin Bell. And they are so disappointed to find out that Colin Bell is working hand in hand with Isaac Buchanan. So Colin Bell is still their problem.
Wow.
They said that in a meeting, and they will know if they said that in a meeting. Because we are talking now for public radio and TV. Make them hear. So they will know that when I'm saying at the meeting, me know me hear back.
Exactly.
See him like how a couple years ago, when the children from Happy Grove did reach home at midnight, and I said, carry to JUTC bus. They said in a meeting that they now carry a JUTC bus now because any JUTC bus come, Shaka Fame, I go claim the bus here, he make it happen. And they're talking at the meeting, me know, man. Hold on, and then you have one from, we come out of the Rio Cobre. We come from Rio Cobre. One going at the Rio Grande, and we tell him, say, no. We don't want no fish from Rio Cobre for swimming at Rio Grande. Anybody want to ask me a question? Me have an open line. 876-804-7072. Call me and ask me the question. I am accessible.
Before I go, Colin, why is it that some members of the JLP upset with the police for finding the 200-odd gun in Desmond Mackenzie constituency? Why are some members of them upset? Right?
Later.
That it has been found.
Later, Marsh. Me have a
all right. Well, in parting, you know something? I'm going to leave that little party, but they refer to the PNP as dog, but warn the JLP, don't tease the dog. You hear? Because the dog will bite. Take care.
Later, Marty. Yes, sir. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, one thing I want is to tell us, because he's a Portland man, I'm not going to Portland you don't know about, From Donald, I've been a member of parliament for Portland for 18 years now, right?
Yes.
And his wife about 7 to 8 years now, right?
No. His wife at 2019. So call it 6 years and later.
6 years.
Yeah.
6 years and later, all right. As Donald Vaz build an institution or create any form of development to the youth them in West Portland.
No, man, Daryl Vaz now have nothing for sure. Like before Daryl Vaz come to West Portland, we had a Premier League team, There was a team in Buffalo called St. George's. It was a
to me the call we are talking about how Daryl Vaz do a good job with his wife. Someone ask these questions. You can clarify, you can listen and know what is really going on.
I put out a challenge from the other day. So I want people to call me and tell me the good works, because I hear people outside of Portland talking about the good works of the member of parliament. And I am saying for a man who lives in Portland, now if you give marks for road, she fixes some roads. You can't take that from her. She gets some roads fixed. But I, Colin Bell, don't give politician marks for roads. We don't give politician marks for water. We don't give marks for light. You don't get no marks for them there. So step to the front of the class, somebody, and tell me what this member of parliament has done so great for the constituency of East Portland, because I don't see it. And as I said a while ago, anybody will have questions to ask me. 876-804-7072. I am on every Wednesday, every Tuesday, and Saturday. Call me on the program and put the questions to me and embarrass me. Come to the program and ask me the question. And you're a next man. And somebody sent me a voice note from a man who said me I'm friend and brother. And also friend and brother work. But the question I have been asking is not if you would employ somebody who is under investigation, full stop. I said, would you employ somebody who is under investigation by the police for stealing? May add stealing to it. Would you employ somebody who is under investigation for stealing?
You wouldn't.
That are the question when we ask. So on the left of the stealing, and just say somebody who is under investigation. Now do that.
But normally, any job you're in, if you're in the JCF, JDF, if you're a teacher, lawyer, anybody else, once you're on everything, you have to step aside and let the investigation complete. And then after it's complete, if you find guilty, then go and dismiss. If you don't find guilty, go back to your job.
All right.
So you should step aside as a prime minister and let the investigation go ahead, and then when the outcome investigation, he should not find nothing against him, and come back and be the prime minister.
All right, we have some clip here more and play for the people where they might never.
All right.
Bless up, my brother. One love. Now, my people, listen this. Here you go. Here you go. Freeze, you freeze. She freeze. She froze. She froze. Let me get this back because I want to hear them. Why is she freezing? Huh. Oh, so she freeze up on me. All right, let's see. Let's see. Why is this freezing up on me? This phone is freezing up over here. I have some clips here because that clip with Desmond McKenzie, my peeps, I really want to hear it. Really want to hear it. So that's when we get this device up, back and running. And I want to play these clips before I get to Rasta. But when I talked to Nephew a little while, Nephew rightfully brought up Cornwall Regional. because that's the biggest disgrace to any political party in Jamaica, Cornwall Regional. And even by the GLP standard, Cornwall Regional is nasty. Even by the GLP's standard. And what that means when I say by the GLP standard? The GLP built, well, with private investment, they did the Moran Bay Urban Center. And that urban center, I think, started really officially in what? 2022? And at 2025, at a cost of $6 billion, it is ready. Or almost ready. Till them cut a ribbon, so they will open it at $6 million, $6 billion, sorry. Billion with a B. $6 billion. No, you tell me, and for those of you who don't know, the urban center is bigger than Cornwall Regional Hospital. It is 48,000 square feet bigger than the Cornwall Regional Hospital. Yeah? So, let me tell you this. When you look at Cornwall Regional Hospital, you really have to ask yourself, what can go so? You really have to ask yourself, Brother Bailey, what can really go so? The government said so far they have spent, the government said so far they have spent what? $9.4 billion. Pringle.
Colin.
Wagwan.
Good evening, sir.
Blessings, man.
At the same thing, I want to call you to talk about what Desmond McKenzie say, you know.
I me there want to play. I don't know why this thing I don't want to play it. Why it give me trouble?
But tell me something.
Hold on.
Them people, them more.
Hold on, hold on.
To the People's National Party. The mid about the handling of the country's affairs. Mr. McKenzie also pushed back against the PNP's criticism of the appointment of accountant Dennis Chung as head of the Financial Investigation Division. He believes the PNP is playing politics. He asserted that the JLP will not back down in the face of political attacks from the PNP.
The Jamaica Labour Party and its supporters will push back at the PNP when they come at Andrew Holness. We're not going to allow you. Here is a young man who has proven himself, and you want to destroy him. We're labor rights. We now budge. We now move an inch. We will never surrender Jamaica to the PNP again. Never.
Jamaica Labour Party Deputy Leader Desmond McKenzie. He was speaking last evening at a political conference in St. Andrew East.
Yes, Springer. What that mean?
I don't know. I know I ask you that I don't think they be concerned about, you know, because the same thing like where Prime Minister say, you know.
Because, but at least you hear Nebula say, boy, it's sound away. We need your Labour right to admit that it's sound away. And Desmond McKenzie must come to this nation and apologize and explain what that means. Because I am asking Desmond McKenzie a question. Does that mean if the people of Jamaica vote for the PNP and the PNP win the next election, that you all will not hand over government to the PNP? Is that what that means?
But when I said to you, I tell you all the while, don't expect the Labour Party to apologize about nothing. You must stop it.
So
they
what
not
about this?
apologize about nothing.
So what is going to be done about this?
I don't know if you know that. I know a politician them. So tell me now, that no one threat, no?
Of course, that's dangerous. That's inciting violence. And then the Prime Minister on the same weekend said he don't need no opposition. You did hear that one there?
Me hear all of them, man. I radio me live man.
The man said no need no opposition.
So where that now no legal implication for nothing.
Why I don't know. I know Dame Campbell made a gave a response today. Dayton Campbell gave a response. So.
And tell me now. They tell you all the while. You see Labour Party, you know? I believe them all two of them in a power, you know. They might get some election observer for themselves, you know, even private sector people, you know.
Yeah.
Other countries are loyal to them because see what go on in an election, you know.
Well, we are seeking overseas observer to come to observe this election because
you should have said you are getting.
Huh?
We are seeking, you should say we have already got some.
Well, I think the party is far down the road as it relates to that. I think we are far down the road. But it's just to get the necessary info where we are. But we know that search was on sometime now, and Sunday coming is NEC, so we should be able to hear some of those things at NEC.
And tell me now, with the investigation, how would they call this number? Investigation where then do where they find say one former prime minister did borrow money. Right?
Yeah.
And then him assistant, then time there, still in a government. Right? It come in like a something with public now, because I'm here to go in on the radio.
Well, is that
facts? Those are facts.
That a prime minister did borrow some money?
Yes, and say no member.
Yes, man.
And a person who is in government now. Was his assistant or did I work with him during that time there?
You say somebody in a government did I work with him?
Yeah, but you know, that is made public. Our investigation show that.
Well, listen. The FinSAC report has not been released. The FinSAC report has not been released. So we are of the opinion that those things are inside the FinSAC report. And that's why this present administration doesn't want to release the FinSAC report.
But I believe those were facts.
Of course, they are facts. You know, so Ralston, well, we have talked to Ralston this evening. So we can, if you really want to get the fullness, Ralston will tell you.
Hey, so tell me now. So the opposition can talk about that in a parliament where them Labour man them make some speech where a pure lie them tell.
Of course they can talk about it. Why not?
But that wouldn't good kind of people know that, but them not saying nothing about it. Like them forget it.
Well, we talk about it right here on this program. And I tell you something.
Yeah, but I not parliament in the chat.
Eh?
I not parliament in the chat.
Yeah, man. I have a video on TikTok with it. We're going over 104,000 views. Hold the line for me.
Anyway.
All right, Pringle. I'll talk to Ralston.
Yeah, man. Respect. My version that, man.
Yeah, man. So, the listeners and viewers, it look like that beating here get hot. The beating get hot. I don't know if you realize what happened. Well, the beating get hot. That's what really happened. Ralston, good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Where are you going with my brother?
Yeah, man. There, man.
Ralston, and holy things are going around here. And we are really worried about some of these things. We are going.
Leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, Desmond McKenzie, has declared...
No, I don't want to play that. We heard Nigel Clark speaking from Brazil, saying that Jamaica, the Caribbean actually, are maybe the highest cost of electricity in the world, and that Jamaica needs to produce. You were saying all these things while they were cussing you out.
Yeah, man, and said that we were bad-minded and we were fighting against him.
So what happened now? Is what?
Well, he's now at the IMF and he's now speech singing a different tune. And that is telling you that all the sycophants who were bigging him up while they were here never knew what they were talking about, because he's now sounding like me. He's saying that we must focus on growth in the Caribbean, because growth is too slow. And in order to do that, we must lower the cost of energy. We must invest more in renewable energy. We must invest more in productivity. And we must invest more in our people and infrastructure. Precisely what we were saying while he was running the country.
So is what happened, is what him drink or what book him go read that him talking these out now?
Well, I don't know. He has successfully used Jamaica as an experiment to get the job at the IMF, so now he's talking the thing.
Yes, no, Ralston, we were of that opinion as well, that the kind of trajectory that he had the country on is about impressing our lenders,
yes,
and not impressing the people of Jamaica.
Jamaica, yeah, man.
So where do we go now? Has he sent that message to Favour Williams and Andrew Holness?
When I was saying this morning, I hope that they were reading and listening to him and now realize that they need to change the trajectory, albeit that it is late. So it means that the people who were saying what he's now saying while he was here, it means that they are the ones that will have to come and do this thing.
No, we've been following.
Because what he's now saying is that people like me and the opposition were spot on in what we were saying, because he's now saying the same things that we were saying.
So the whole thing now, Ralston, I have been following the financial reports. All the financial reports, everywhere they are. Berger Paints?
Berger Paints, their profits dropped by 77% from 47 million last year, the first quarter of last year, to 10.9 million the first quarter of this year. And they made it clear, because of the weak aggregate demand, people don't have any money to buy paint.
Main Events also said they lost money this week. Why?
Colin, all the companies that are listed, that have reported, have either reported a significant reduction in profitability and losses. Mr. Metrosiaga, who says everything is okay, his revenues are down by 32% and his profits down by 18%.
So when Azan, what name again?
Omar
Azan came out and spoke. That's why they kept quiet.
Yeah, man. Well, they kept quiet publicly, but him said them call him and cuss him.
Because why? You're not supposed to expose the
You're
fact
not supposed
that
to talk the
the
truth,
economy is in a
yeah.
bad position.
Right, but that is stupid, because all of these companies have to file their report to the stock exchange. So we'll see the report.
And Statin has still not yet come forward with the first quarter numbers.
No. But that analyst went in the field and he said that only 30% of the people who he interviewed, the 1,033 people that he interviewed, said that the economy was in good shape. And he said the majority of those 30% were JLP people.
And it's just 30%.
Just 30%.
Because I was listening to him and he said 50% of who said that they are going to vote for the GLP said the economy is good. So the next 50 who even said they're going to vote for the GLP still not saying the economy is good.
Right.
Now, Ralston, you've been around for a very long time. And we heard the Minister of Local Government say that the Jamaica Labour Party will not surrender Jamaica to the PNP ever again. What does that mean, Ralston?
Well, only Desmond McKenzie can answer that, sir, because as far as we are concerned, we live in a democracy, and it is the people of Jamaica that decide who runs Jamaica. So what is he saying? If the people do not vote for the JLP, what is it that they're going to do?
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the question, because I want to ask him if that means that if the PNP comes out victorious at the polls, they will still not hand over the reins of government to the PNP. Is that what he's saying?
Well, that's what he needs to explain, and the country needs to ask him to explain. And it's not the first time he's saying it. This is more than one time he's saying that. So he needs to get a hold of himself and realize that this is a democracy and the people are our masters, not him.
But the Prime Minister said that he don't need no opposition.
Well, I'm saying no need opposition to hold them accountable.
Right.
Which is also a nonsense statement.
Yeah, because your friends, your choir is gonna hold you accountable.
Hold you accountable. Yeah, but he was talking to the faithful, another political nonsense speech. Those things don't make any sense. And people are not taking those things seriously because they're just nonsense.
No, Raleigh, in terms of growth, have you seen any movements by the government to shape up and get growth going with all the political overthrows that they are doing? What is it that they are putting in place to ensure that Jamaica grow by more than 3%?
Well, they have not put anything in place. They are already tabled a budget in which they are expecting average economic growth of 1% per annum over the next 4 years. And this is before we have all of these global turmoil with Trump's tariffs and the war between Iran and Israel. So what we're going to see is declines in economic activity. They haven't been doing anything since that.
I am of the opinion that this conflict now between Israel and Iran will affect oil prices. What say you?
Well, yeah, man, we just saw crude oil prices jumping a while ago. Just came off the screen of Bloomberg and seen that crude oil prices are now back up to high 70s. They took a dip yesterday, but they are now back up. So we are going to see higher interest rates for longer, higher levels of inflation, and slower economic growth.
You remember the edge tax, the edge fund, Ralston?
Yeah, man.
That is still being collected, but still not being used for edging.
Mm-hmm.
If this conflict between Iran and Israel continue for much longer, how far you think oil price will go?
Well, the people are saying that if Iran gets desperate, really desperate, and blocks the Strait of Hormuz, to which almost 40% of the world's oil flow, we'll see oil prices jumping to over $100 per barrel.
And then we're going to be in another dilemma.
Yeah, man, because right now, the oil bill last year was more than our total exports. The oil bill was $2 billion, our total exports was $1.8 billion.
Our total export for last year could not pay for the oil.
Pay the oil bill, or it couldn't pay the food bill either. So you don't have to combine the two. It couldn't pay none of those bills.
My God, my God.
Yep.
My God. No.
That's why Nigel Clark is now saying that we must invest more in exports.
But what is it we're going to export, Ralston?
I don't know. They haven't been producing anything to export. But he's saying it. Because he knows that is something that we are supposed to be doing, but he never invested anything in that when he was there.
Any information on the population census, Ralston? We spent
not a word.
4 billion?
Yeah, but not a word. Nobody focusing on those things right now. It's all politics right now, man. Nobody not focus on that is productive now. It's all politics.
But those of us who choose Jamaica, we have to ask those questions. Is $4 billion that?
Yeah, man.
Are we getting nothing for it?
Nothing is happening right now, except politics on the government side and firms losing money and don't know what to do, still waiting on the government to say what is it that they're going to do.
The environment right now is not conducive for growth.
No, both locally and internationally.
Right. So we have the tariffs, we have the war now. Well, we have the long-running war between Russia and the Ukraine. Starting up another war between Israel and Iran. We see Trump lead the G7. What, G7 or G8?
G7.
Lead the G7 early, gone back. They're not going to defend Israel.
Well, I'm telling people in Tehran that they must evacuate Tehran. And just said that the Ayatollah, him knows part in there, but I'm not ready to kill him yet.
So, my tell him, man, so I'm going to lick you away.
Yeah, man. But I'm saying I'm not ready for him yet. Because him knows part in my eye. And him knows part to get him, but him not ready for him yet.
Can we really believe these people do, Ralston? Because remember, George Bush told us that Saddam Hussein have weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, man.
Israel is now saying that Iran was just a couple of days away from having nuclear weapon.
We know that script over and over and over and over because Trump's own security chief said that nothing like that there are at least 3 years away. But we know them things are going.
Somebody's saying that no commercial vessel have traveled through the Gulf of Hormuz since the attack.
But you can't go to sub, Colin. No, you don't go to sub. A peer shut off fire, there's insurance, everything, so you can't, nobody now go to that place.
So that's going to turn up the oil price?
Yeah, man, we got that tell you, oil prices are up. Yeah, man.
Our import looks so far this year, Ralston. Is it on the same trajectory that we were on last year? Or it even
man, we got January figures. We don't get the figures for the rest of the year. That's another problem we have. The statistics that we're getting are too late. So in a May, we get January trade figures, and we saw the imports contain. Exports were down by 15.2%. So the trade deficit for January alone was $513 million.
So the trade deficit widening?
Yeah, man. So if you analyze that, we'll come out at $6-7 billion again.
Hallelujah.
We're not producing, Colin. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. You see a lot of firms that lose money or make significantly less profits. That tell you that nothing is happening.
And I wonder if people are really concerned about these things with these firms just losing money when you listen to the financial reports in the morning.
Yep.
Firm after firm after firm losing money, and nobody is thinking about these things.
Yeah, that's the point.
It's very sad.
Very sad. Really. Because with the losses and with the reduction in profits, the layoffs are going to be the next thing, you know.
And the NIR dropped by what, $50 million the other day?
59 million because of the heavy intervention. Right now, as we speak, the BOJ is going to mop up another 21 billion tomorrow. And they are also issuing a US dollar index bond for another 80 million.
Is there a new loan from the IMF? I hear something about IMF. What was that?
No.
There's no new from the IMF? Okay. So, Ralston, as it relates to the areas that are down, manufacturing, they are down?
Yeah, man. Manufacturing, agriculture, all of the rail sectors.
Down?
Yeah, man.
Serious problem, brother.
Yeah, man.
Serious
We
problem.
expect to hear from starting sometime next week, about first quarter.
Next week?
Yeah, man. In June now, yeah.
If it's not favorable, but the first quarter ended in what? March.
So I see them tell about the data, how the data them coming late. Yeah, man.
June almost done, so the second quarter is coming to an end. I want to hear about the first quarter.
First quarter, yeah, man. We're always a quarter behind. So we need to put more resources in those agencies so that we can get data real time rather than historical data.
What are the plans that the PIOJ has put forward to this government?
I don't know, brother.
Because
we were waiting realities are getting some favorable forecasting.
Yeah, but all right, fine. But what are they suggesting that the government should be doing now? Aren't they the Planning Institute of Jamaica?
Yeah, but they're not operating like a planning institute. They're operating like they're starting. Yeah, like a PR agency for the government.
So the government then is flying blind. PIOJ not offering any ideas. The population census have not been done, so we don't know how much people there, where they are.
Right. Yep. Just flying blind.
Blind.
Yeah, man.
And my brother, thank you for the intervention.
All right, blessings, man. Yeah, man, every time.
Yeah,
all right, blessings. Cool. Yeah, man.
Viewers and listeners, that was Ralston Hyman. I'm looking over Caribbean radio, and it don't look to me like we're on. So, I could find out what going over Caribbean radio, because I don't know, I don't understand that. Look like we're not on over there at all. No, sir.
It was 5 to 5.
The mic sound good, but can hardly hear the callers. Well, the break over a long time, so make that call and make we hear what one. Hello, Hello, good evening. Welcome to Caribbean Radio HD. This is the Colin Bell Show.
Evening, Colin.
Wagwan.
Yeah, man. So, may I ask Mr. Neville one thing? If so many things are happening and they're going to win 45 seats, or the Prime Minister doesn't indicate when he's going to call the election?
When him do what?
If they say they're going to win 45 seats, why does the Prime Minister indicate when they're going to call the election? I would like to know. So many things been happening, right? You don't need the opposition to hold you accountable, right? You're not surrendering Jamaica to the PNP. Well, call the election then.
That's what we said.
Indicate you're going to call the election. Right? You are so confident. Right? Indicate you're going to call the election.
Well, we know it have to call sooner than later. So.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, Colin, I'm going to say it just like how Dayton said it. They can run, but they can't hide.
No, they can't. They can't.
Okay. Yeah, man. So, and then me here never talk about the Cuban bulb.
Listen, man.
The issue with the fertilizer is bigger than the Cuban bulb.
But you hear me tell Neville, if you add up past GLP administration, whatever corruption or perception of corruption they had, and you add up the PNP past perception or corruption, add the two parties together, this administration here, to this term here, from 2016 till now, beat the two of them together, bad brother. No administration in Jamaica has been this corrupt.
Whatever Andrew and in cabinet think they can change the projection of who is not going to prison, there is a sad mistake. There's no running and hiding from this.
Well, let me tell you something.
There's no running and hiding from this.
I want to hear the voter intention coming out of this Dan Anderson poll.
No, but Colin, the second part of the poll show you the indication.
Me see it already. Me see the indication.
Okay, the second part of the poll showing the indication. And so there was a tweet with Dayton saying the PNP is going to win the election like 2011, right?
Yeah.
And he has to get some information coming from that poll to suggest what he's saying.
Well, I don't think he can get no information from that poll, but both political parties are polling.
Exactly, and we know what's going on the ground with the PNP.
And that's why the election has not been called, because you hear the Prime Minister, somewhere down on the West one at the time, say him not call the election till him sure he can win. So at this
I said this, but in this state, man, in a Zilika just around. I don't know in this state.
No, I said Elizabeth.
In a slowly seat, yeah, man, in a slowly seat.
Yeah, man.
In a slowly seat, I that him say he say not call election until him sure.
So when Neville talk about where them canvas are show, Neville does try to talk up a thing.
No, but listen to me now. If NN this election need to go close, right?
Yeah.
There's no way 45 seat could be close.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
Exactly. He said the man is 35 seat. If the man is 35 seat, you could have close to what NN that say.
Yeah.
You understand me? But when it's a 45, like seriously, I can single-handedly count over 35 seats for the PNP.
Well,
we don't canvass it. We don't canvass it.
Couple of weeks, both Conrad O'Brien and Head Boy, we've been doing a
listen to me.
count.
Listen to what I'm saying. I was the person, right, who did the St. Catherine seat.
Yeah.
And you were saying it on the light.
Yes.
I was the person.
Yes,
I was that person. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Man. Let's see, man.
I'm that person.
So it's 42 seats we are looking at Neville.
Oh, okay.
42.
Okay. But it was indication said the PNP win the election before the St. Catherine.
Yeah.
Before the Kingston and St. Andrew.
Before
Kingston and St. Andrew, exactly.
Yeah. So Him can't run, but him can't. We have to call it. Thanks for the
Me
call,
can't
my
hide, man.
brother.
Yeah, man, respect.
All right, cool. Yeah, man, we are talking and looking at the Jamaican economy that is right now on life support. And we have the Prime Minister telling us that the economy is good. Now, those are the things that trouble me, you know. Really, really trouble me. Really trouble me. So this person here telling you what me talk about the Auditor General.
Thank you, Prince. Social commentator Peter Espute has expressed unease with the timing of a proposal by the government to remove the Auditor General as a commissioner of the Integrity Commission. During a discussion on Radio Jamaica's That's a Wrap yesterday, Mr. Espute said the proposed change to the composition of the anti-corruption body at a time when it is investigating 8 parliamentarians for illicit enrichment brings into question the motivation of the government's intention.
There's supposed to be an illicit 8 people who have been who are on the investigation for illicit enrichment, and we just don't know who they are. Are these businesses about remove the integrity, remove the Auditor General, change this, change that about the Integrity Commission? Suppose it's the people who are on the investigation that are making these calls. Clearly, if we knew that they were on the investigation, we wouldn't pay them any mind at all. But we don't know. And this is what bothers me about all of this. If, in fact, the people who are proposing removing the Auditor General are those whom the Auditor General has found irregularities, then this is completely unacceptable.
Social commentator Peter Espute. The Integrity Commission Act blocks the anti-corruption agency from speaking on its investigations before a report is tabled. As a result, it is not able to list the names of the parliamentarians it is probing for illicit enrichment. On Wednesday, government members of the Joint Select Committee of Parliament reviewing the Act used their majority to push through a recommendation by St. Catharines Southwestern Member of Parliament, Everald Warmington, for a change in the rules that make the Auditor General a commissioner of the Integrity Commission. They argued that the Integrity Commission receives nearly $2 billion annually from the government and should be subject to the type of rigorous audit that only the AG's department can conduct. At present, the Commission is audited by an independent accounting firm, but government members believe it is not comprehensive enough for the level of resources it gets annually.
Edward, Wagwan.
Blessings, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. I know why they might take off the AG for the Integrity Commission. I know why. And I will tell you this evening. Go ahead, Edward. Talk to me.
Right. I called to reference because I listened to this, the gentleman, the clip you played with. His name, I forgot it. I forgot the name. Peter Espute, right? Yes. And let me tell you something. Peter Espute is as green as it gets. Because I know me good Deacon from Bulby.
Yeah.
Good man. Yeah? Good man. Your brethren not like that. Yeah?
Okay.
But he's as green as you get. And when you hear Peter Espute and Carol Narcisse come out and say what is happening is tantamount to what you call it now, a dictator state.
Yeah,
you must know that it's bad.
These are the clearest signs we are seeing of a
Peter
dictatorship
Espute votes in
action.
Port Royal and he has never voted for Philip Paulwell. So we know, right? But let me put without being personal now, right? What I'm seeing happening in Shako, and why the 8, and Peter Espute is asking the question about who the 8 persons are. You will never know who the 8 persons are because that was Andrew Holness's job. He took the Integrity Commission to court to remove illicit enrichment from the Integrity Commission.
Yeah, but when I talked to a senior lawyer, that lawyer said to me that the Integrity Commission can still release those reports that they have.
But you cannot use the word illicit enrichment.
No, man. So
until the court.
They didn't get a stop order on that.
No, Shaka. Remember that it is being the word, the issue that took them to is the litigious issue is illicit event.
That is one of the things that he wants to remove
Right. Once you have a case in the court, which is saying a constitutional court case, which is saying we want illicit enrichment to be struck from out of the Integrity Commission, removing them from giving the power to name individuals in that light. What it means is if I'm the subject of that, everybody who is behind me, that's how constitutional cases work. Yeah?
Well, I tell you what, I am going to bring on a constitutional lawyer to speak on that matter because.
Please do. Please bring Bert because
as I said, I've spoken to somebody about it, and the response I got was that they can still, they might not, but there's nothing in law to stop them from.
Absolutely, there's no. You're right, Colin. There's nothing that stops them, but you know how the system operates. These guys are not going to push it until the court has ruled. And that was a delay tactic of Andrew Holness. So you will never know the other 7 persons. We know one already, you know. We know Andrew is one of them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah?
So it's 7 more.
It's 7 more. You will never know.
And Bobby did tell you say him on the investigation too.
Who?
Bobby.
Well, Bobby told us that he was, but
yes.
And we know from out of what we saw happen at Airport Authority that he might very well be under investigation for illicit enrichment and for questions as to how we acquired this property in Gibraltar.
Oh.
That's a statement of fact. Yeah? But I don't want to dwell upon that. I want to address the low down labor right water about 40.
Hold on, before you go to him, I want to tell the people, and I want to remind you all of a statement that the Prime Minister had made. Read the Auditor General. You remember a statement that says, don't put to malice or incompetence. Don't put to malice or what? Don't put to malice or something that could be put to incompetence. You remember that statement?
I remember the statement, yes.
I'm going for that the Prime Minister made about the Auditor General.
In reference to the, let me tell you, we have to understand this thing, why the Prime Minister hates the AG, the Auditor General. Yeah? And let me say it with no water in my mouth. I remind you to go back as far back as when the Prime Minister was Minister of Education. Yeah?
Talk to me.
The AG, remember, you know, at the time when our good friend now, was the then head of the Greg Christie, right? When Greg Christie had not the Integrity Commission, before it was the contracts thing, right?
Office of the Contractor General.
Office of the Contractor General. The Auditor General used to be the one who sends over the reports to the Office of the Contractor General. Yeah? So this issue, the Westcon issue, yeah, was one of them that he has never forgiven the Auditor General for. He has never forgiven the Auditor General for how her reports in terms of what happened with the J dip up in a dip, yeah, and we saw them not spending more than 3 months in office, yeah.
Yeah.
So this boy has never forgiven the poor Auditor General.
So it's not about the office; it's about Pamela Monroe-Ellis.
It's about Pamela Monroe-Ellis. He has a deep hatred for Pamela Monroe-Ellis. And we have seen it, and they have practiced it on that side. They have said it every time. Every time they speak, they want to strip the AG, the Auditor General, of certain powers. But we're not going to get in the legalistic discussion because that's not my forte. One thing with me, I stick to me. Yeah?
I'm going to promise the listeners and the viewers that tomorrow evening, if I don't play it this evening, tomorrow evening I'm going to play that clip from the Prime Minister referring to the Auditor General.
Right.
When the Auditor General did a report on the social housing program that is going on now.
Yeah, but that was not the only one that hurt him with the social housing. Because when she did the auditing of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, that is why they had sent to him Carl Samuda quickly. And I don't even want to open my mouth on that one yet. Yeah? Because in that very audit report, the audit report showed of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security showed that close family members of individuals in high position in the ministry were receiving support on contracts. Yeah? So you have to understand that every time the AG touches anything relating to this government, she digs up so much dirt that it hurts them. All of the report.
And that's why I am waiting on the Cornwall Regional report. Because, Ed boy, when I look at Cornwall Regional and the amount of money that they are projecting to spend, the newest real hotel in Jamaica, and my listeners and my viewers more want to look on them thing here. Very simple. The newest real in Jamaica, in Trelawney, Falmouth, have 750 rooms. It started in 2021.
Yes.
And was opened in 2024. The cost to build the hotel is less than $15 billion. How Cornwall Regional must cost us $23.5 billion?
No, I think you don't understand, Colin. And I think the PNP don't understand.
I hope so. Tell me.
Yeah? I think they don't understand construction. You see, what is happening at Cornwall Regional is a different level of construction.
Okay.
Yeah? It is the pocket me construction. Yeah, the market me. Yeah? It's the pocket me construction. Because what had happened with I shared it last night. The issue that Cornwall Regional started when Rudyard Spencer was Minister of Health, Remember in that year we had the fumes in 2008. Yeah? Oh. They then went into the hospital. They attempted to change some of the cooling system, the cooling system, or the air conditioning system in some of the areas. Mm-hmm. When they changed that, it didn't do anything. So it so happened that in 2014, you remember Porsche had removed Fenton from the Ministry of Health?
Yeah, sure man. We'll soon take your call, man.
The goodly Minister of Health then was Horace Daly.
Yeah.
Right? Horace Daly asked for a report on what the issues were in Cornwall, and you referred to it. That report said there are two options you have, Minister. One, either you refurbish it, but refurbishing, you don't know what is going to be inside of it. Yeah? So it is best that you knock down the entire structure, right? Beef up the support system. So Hanover, Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, and Trelawney,
yes.
You would actually beef up their emergency systems, give them all of them MRI, all of the necessary systems, whilst you build Cornwall Regional.
Yes.
That was the plan. That was the plan.
And Ed boy, I said to somebody yesterday that anything we hear the labor right them quarrel and say PNP do or we do, that's exactly what they are doing. I hear the minister in the parliament say you have to stop the plane and fix. PNP would have fixed the plane while it's flying. This minister is fixing the plane while it's flying because while you try to refurbish Cornwall, that party while you have patients in another party and the party while you have administration in another party. That's the problem. Lick down the hospital, put up a new structure, and we would have been well on our way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But you know what the issue is? The minister and his team at the Ministry of Health didn't expect to have a new spokesperson on health. Yeah?
Yes.
And no disrespect to Dr. Morris Guy, who I have the greatest respect for. Right?
Yeah.
Dr. Guy was doing an awesome job. But anybody who knows Dr. Guy know that he's not a confrontational person. Yeah? He's not a confrontational person.
No.
And he was actually saying because he's a doctor. But none of them were listening to him. Yeah?
I know.
Then when they gave Dayton the chance, Dayton was hitting them so much that them find every excuse in the world to get rid of Dayton. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But what they did not know, and this is what caused Tufton to now admit, because he now faces a doctor who was in the system, who has former co-workers in the system,
yes.
who have people in the system who respect him, and why him now have to come and say, oh, it was a projection. Because I am saying, if at 1 billion, you projected 2 first, yeah?
Yes.
When you reach 1 billion and you go in the building and you see this, no, this is going to be more than what we bargained for. Why you never stop at the 1B? The idea was that they would have continued to milk Cornwall Regional for what it is worth. Yeah? And the real amount that they really expect to spend, which was let's say 9 billion or 10 billion, they would have then moved up to 20 odd, and 13 billion or 10 billion would have gone in a smarty pocket.
And that's why I am looking at Cornwall Regional as a cash cow. It is a cash cow that is taking place down there in St. James.
No, it's not a cash cow. It's a printing press.
You know, put money down there.
Yeah, man. But when you can take up a man who's a cook and make him a project manager of a project, yeah, and then that guy is linked to the Speaker of the House, right? And he's close friends to the Prime Minister, yeah. And everywhere you put him, there's problem. Let me tell you something. The JLP had a grand scheme to thief and loot the funds of Cornwall Regional. And they have been caught.
Is one of the project manager down there now?
Huh?
One of the project manager left. When I was going through the documents, I see where one of the project manager leave recently.
Which one?
I have to go back.
It can't be the board member, school board member you're referring to.
Or because the man who makes school now keep my picnic stay at them yard?
Yeah, let me tell you something. When Siaga did say there's only one Don, yeah, that is the Don of the West, yeah.
But tell me something, Ed boy, because what I'm saying to Jamaicans, don't make these people take us for fool. Cornwall Regional Hospital is 387,500 square feet.
Yeah.
387,500. The urban center in Morant Bay is 436,000 square feet, you know.
And it's less, and the cost is less.
And it's 6 billion. 48,000 square feet bigger than Cornwall Regional. And it costs 6 billion.
I'll tell you why. Because the banks are involved in the investors are involved in the
so they can
run
private sector money.
And them can't run private sector money. But Shaka, I want to refer to this 45 seat thing because it depends on my heart. Right? It depends on my heart. Now let me explain something to the JLP, to those who are peddling lies. Yeah?
Talk to me.
Your own internal poll in the JLP show you winning only 21 to 23 seats.
But Dr. Chancellor is sure about 28?
No, he said they're sure about 28, yes. They're sure about 28. Right? But no, 23. I'm certain he had said 23 in the interview. But I'm going to go back.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm making in reference to it, let's agree with Colin. Okay, the JLP is going to win 45 seats. Out of the 49 they have, please tell us 4 that you are willing to lose. Because the way I ask it that way, if the 4 involves any marginal seat, any seat that they won by under 500 or any seat that they won by under 1,000, then it's dead in the game. Because the reality of it is, there's no way you can give up 4 marginals. The JLP has over 15 marginal seats. And let me remind your listeners, don't let them puff up themselves and think them bad. They have 15 marginal seats that they have under 1,000 votes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the fact is simple. There is, and remember, in COVID, the 37% that came out, right? If you look at the JLP number to the PNP number, what happened in those constituencies? The JLP in all of the constituencies it won, its number did not change.
And some of them in 2021 with less than what they got. What they lost in 2016. Hold on, let me hear what hold on there, boy. Show man what they pay, man.
Who want to get that shut up for the head boy there?
What you have to say?
Head boy, come on and chat the lie, man. We have 25 sure seats to do have 11.
You have 25 sure seats.
I don't have 11.
What's up? You have 25 sure seat and the rest is ours.
And the PMP have 11.
No. You have 25 and the rest belongs to the PMP.
Listen what me I say to you, brother. You hear me? Alright.
Yeah, man, may I hear you?
We have 25, we have 11.
All right, sir.
And then you have 27 left.
Yeah.
So you see what that 27 left?
Yeah.
We are going to take out and go to 45 and go now. The little way left. So now make head boy can come on your program and different and chat rubbish, you know. He not come and confuse, you know.
No, but you see, when PNP go back confused, you know, diss them.
No, this not, brother.
Yeah, man.
Tell him to come and confuse the rubbish sack. You know, can come on your program and Jeffrey.
All right, me have to call Cliff Hughes tomorrow because I have some questions when I want Cliff Hughes answer.
Yeah, call it tomorrow.
All right.
And tell that boy stop him propaganda and him black thing.
All right, sir. Head boy. Unmute head boy because Showerman said I spread propaganda.
Which propaganda?
Sure.
But we're referring to electoral fact. Any party who is going into an election asks themselves, what were my marginal seats? Can I win my marginal seats? Let's give you some.
Yeah.
A marginal seat is one like Northwest Clarendon that the Israeli barely win by about 200 and odd vote. Yeah. By the way, that's a surprising number because people in Northwest still wonder how comes he was losing the night they had almost declared it for Richard Azan and the following day them declared for him. But we not argue with that. Yeah?
Yeah, but I don't think they will have to look for the upcoming election here.
Right. Now, let's use another one. Right? Let's use another one. In the very same seat of this one in Hanover. Yeah? Yeah. I think it's Eastern Hanover. They've only won by 700 and odd vote. Yeah? Yeah. In Westmoreland, it's a similar case as well. In Eastern Hanover, they won by less than 12 votes. Yeah? Western Hanover, they won by about 600, 700, but they didn't go over 1,000. So all this noise that the JLP is making, there are a lot of seats that the margin they won by was a narrow margin. Yeah? And people have to understand there are factors in election. There are push and pull factors in election. Yes. Like how this swing is going. Yeah. And you are telling me the JLP is expecting that there will be the same 37% voter turnout. They know that will not happen. That is why Andrew Holness is trying to why would a party leader? I've never heard Mark Golding say to JLP people, I want you to vote for me. Yeah? He always said to the undecided and to the comrades, come out and vote. You know why? Because why Andrew Holness keeps on reaching out to comrades. He knows that if it was a base election, yeah? If a base election were to happen.
Hold on, boy. PNP. Hold on. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Colin Bell Show.
Good evening, Mr. Bell.
Yeah, man, talk up.
I was just listening to the 5 o'clock news.
Yes.
And I heard something on the news that is going to have a devastating effect on public sector workers going forward.
Well, I know that the government planning a wage freeze, you know. Who never know? Let me tell you first. The negotiations that is going on now for year one, they're talking about a wage freeze. Go ahead.
What I just heard on the radio is that they don't plan to pay any increase for year one. No, in fact, the first thing is that you remember that the public sector normally have a 2-year contract. Nigel had argued that the 2-year was too short.
Yes.
And 3 years would be good enough to give the government ample time to plan and to prepare. Now, I think the public sector at the time reluctantly accepted his line of argument.
Yeah.
But now, because they had accepted that, you realize what they do, they're pushing the country further. So you're going to have, they want now
4
the public
years.
sector workers to take a 4-year contract, literally the life of a government.
Yes.
So the only time you will have an increase is when you're going into an election.
Yes.
Basically. That's the aim.
Yes.
Now that is deception. Now, I want us to look back at something. Over the last 3 or 4 months, you can count the number of weeks that the Bank of Jamaica do not have to intervene in the foreign exchange market to protect the dollar.
Every week they have to put in about $90 million.
And even by doing that, they could not prevent the dollar from hitting the 160 mark.
No, because we are over 161.
So we gone over
161.
160.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine asking public sector workers, listening on, in an economy that we are told that public sector workers are doing so well, that you can only offer the public sector workers 7.5% over 4 years.
No, hold on, Wilson. The first year, you're not getting nothing. So the first year is a wage freeze. The 7.5% is over the last 3 years.
The last 3 years.
Yes.
Yes. Now, can you imagine what will happen when we are living in a country where we know our annual inflation rate is above 5%?
But you know what? You know what is going to happen September? Our whole heap of teachers going to leave this year again, you know.
But I don't reach that point yet, because that is going to be another effect of what is happening now. And with this government proposing to pay this increase, and they fully well understand that because the reclassification was not managed properly, the persons who are the foot soldiers cannot survive with the salary that was paid. And they were promised that their situation will be taken care of after reclassification.
Yeah.
And that was not done, because what came out of reclassification, is just the persons at the top and the politicians who get a lot of money. The ordinary Jamaican. In fact, if you were in my position and you had an helper to pay, the increase on your salary would be less than what you are expected to pay your helper over the 1 month. So reclassification put you back.
Oh.
And that's the core reality
Yes.
of a lot of middle class persons or persons who find themselves in middle management in government.
That's what I've been hearing.
Moment. So, going into, you want to tell me that this government who champion this argument about good economic management and everything, and you come to a point that you cannot pay your workers an increase and the economy is doing so well.
But they're still out there. They are still out there as we speak, telling people how well the economy is doing and how well they have done with the economy.
No, but persons who understand money and understand business know that that is not so. Because any business at all you do presently in Jamaica, because I have a little business, sales are down. Down. No money isn't moving. And the fact that no money isn't moving, the economy cannot be doing well.
All our blue chip companies are losing money.
But I'm not even going at that level. I'm talking right on the ground.
Yes.
Right on the ground. There are little shop in the community. They will tell you that sales are down, there's no money. It is as basic as that. And people are waiting. You know what people are waiting for? The election spend.
Yes.
Because they want to see if that can catapult them to actually see something, because things are so flat. When you hear Mr. Man say, after is the worst he has seen for 30 years, and people want to say that it is not so, that man have no reason to come and tell him lie and a politician,
Yeah, man, that man not look no friend.
I now look no friend. and him can survive. But the reality is, he can look at his business and see that his business is not doing as well as it used to.
Yeah.
So when you ask him the question, he won't tell you the truth. So you never tell him what you want to hear.
Let me tell you something.
When you hear what him say now, you're going to take it and make it seem as if he is. That is not so.
Let me tell you something. RGR carries a financial report every morning at 7:15. When you listen to it, all you can hear on it these days now is companies' profits are down. Every company profit down. In fact, I did a recording and put a list of them together from the report. But Wilson, the truth is, where we are now in Jamaica, we have to get back to basics. And if we don't start producing, and Dr. Nigel Clark is now saying it, finally, that we need to produce.
It's not just producing, you know. We need persons to manage the system who are honest. And they're going to make decisions that will benefit the country. Because if there's one thing I can say, you know, there has to become a point when you're a political party that you recognize that after winning the election, you are governing for all and not for the persons who voted for you. So your decision should be beneficial to everybody, and you should listen to everybody. It's not just your cheerleaders. Because the reality is, I can tell you that come September morning, a lot of schools will be unable to fill vacancies. Not just because of migration, but because persons are not going to be interested in going into the classroom. And they will find something else. Because the reality is, it makes no sense. Persons continue to take disrespect from government, go to school, take disrespect from students, and at the end of the day, they cannot live.
All right.
It does not work.
We'll talk again. Thanks for the call.
Cool. Yeah, man.
Blessings, my brother. It can't work out. And how many people know? Hey, boy, did you know that the government is planning a wage freeze for the first of the 4-year contract?
Repeat that, Chaka.
Were you aware that the government is planning to freeze public sector wages for the first year of the 4 years contract that they're pushing forward?
Well, they have to do it. They have no other choice. Because do you know that the government was actually in a bind to pay public sector workers a couple of weeks, almost a month ago?
But the Prime Minister said the economy is doing so well. We have managed the economy. And
don't
your
listen
government.
to Andrew the Dreamer. Yeah? Don't listen to Andrew the Dreamer. Yeah? Because it can't be that is the good dream he have. It's most a nightmare. Because if Nigel Clark run, after doing and I want to agree with Wilson, if Nigel Clark run, when he saw the reclassification exercise, saw the mess that it brought about in the system, because when you take up, for example, a traveling officer of a ministry, and you tell them, well, we're going to take your traveling, yeah, but your traveling money, the little traveling, remember you used to have different allowances, you know?
Yes.
So they said there were allowances, especially for officers, yeah? And they have literally been worse off than before. In traveling, you used to maybe get $30,000 a month for traveling. Yeah? Oh no, we're giving them concessions for vehicles so they don't have to worry about this. But traveling officers of the government always had concessions on vehicles. I don't know what
once you're a traveling officer,
Clark was coming with.
It's too much trick knowledge, brother.
Yeah, but we have what is called. So we have bang belly economy. Yeah?
You have what?
And a bang belly economy.
A bang belly economy.
A bang belly.
Yeah.
And what is happening is because these two must be blamed on the wholenesses. Yeah? I mean, stop say so. When you have a wife of a prime minister building close to much, 300 apartments, yeah?
Tell him.
Which has people have to understand what has happened to our real estate market. That is what has caused the slowdown in the economy. Because the banks' money are tied up in some of these projects that they should not have been tied up in. When the banks should have been on lending to small MSMEs, medium-sized enterprises. So they could have focused on boosting their businesses, expanding their businesses. We were busy lending to, where do you think JMB in the problem is in right now? JMB lost $8 billion last year because of the very same real estate boom. Yeah? NCB was. You remember, if it is that the economy is doing so well, why Abani can't pay them project? Had to go to receivership for them project.
Yeah, was them too expensive?
Right. No, but not expensive. Sick money laundering 101 that is happening with some of these entities. And the FATF report pointed out to it that they've never seen so much cash flowing through charities in all of Jamaica's history.
Hold on.
So what is happening now? The man who thief money instead of charity. Remember the Prime Minister, when he goes to Miami or he goes to UK and go to Canada, he tell people to donate to his what you call Positive Jamaica?
I don't remember, but I know there's a charity.
Some Positive Jamaica.
Yeah.
The Positive Jamaica is for positive thieving. It's positive testing for thieving. Yeah? Because there's no way your very own charity that you got funds from charity, and at them now make it hard for a man like you, Shaka. If you set up a charity right now in the East, so that you're going to just give tablets to students, you know how much papers you have to file the company's office, plus also with the banks before you can even get an account open for a charity now?
Hey boy, we could talk again tomorrow, yeah?
You know it, good brother. All the
Blessings.
best. Keep up the hard work.
Blessings. Well, I want to ask Ed Boy when think about Craig Oates switching allegiance and now be a Labour right. Now, people, let me tell you something about Colin Bell. I hear some people on social media ask me a question. You want to ask me a question, you are inaccessible because you can't do what me do. Sit down in front of the microphone and face the public and any question you have for me. You see this number 876-804-7072. I'm not block nobody. Anybody who have questions can call me. And I welcome all calls. Yeah? Now, in this digital age, the Integrity Commission is a creature of the Parliament set up to investigate politicians. And also, civil servants is not just politicians. Now, if you are the Prime Minister of the country and you can satisfy the Integrity Commission, and then you have people who are saying to us that it is the Integrity Commission that is the problem. I keep asking here, show me the track record of the Integrity Commission where they have been found wanting and doing things that are untoward. I saw two bloggers put up the picture of the Director of Corruption Investigation, and they are trying to slaughter him on the World Wide Web. And I'm trying to ask, are there any lines? Can you just do this to civil servants? Put up them picture and slaughter them? Then we soon have nobody at Jamaica for work. Mr. Vegas, me think it rude. Very rude. Why you don't ask the Prime Minister to come take some interviews and clear his name? Withdraw the court case because with it in court, he's going to tell us that he can't talk about it. Well, if he can't talk about it, we can't vote for him because we want to know that the Prime Minister is able to live within the laws of the country. You hear what the Prime Minister said about the Integrity Commission when he must set it up?
Will function under its general oversight, and as such will function under its general oversight, and I don't want to be giving conflicting views. It is a commission of Parliament, but it is still independent. It is independent, like all the other commissions which have to be attached to some form of state authority. But the Parliament cannot interfere in or direct the commission as to what to do. In the similar way that there are other independent commissions which are attached to Parliament.
So that was when they were setting up the Integrity Commission. The Prime Minister spoke about the independence of the Integrity Commission. No, I just got to the clip that they were disrespecting and have up Kevin Stevenson picture. But we're not going to give it no traction. We're not going to give it no traction at all. I'm trying to find Nigel Clark's. Those are the ones from the Integrity Commission. And Nigel Clark was saying that our high electricity bill and our lack of production is holding back Jamaica. But my people, Chris Campbell said that is a question to be answered by the PIOJ. I don't know which question you're talking, Chris. I never see it before. Now, this fool that we name Ethics Straight, the other day tried to mislead me. And that's why I'm tell you, say, Labour right now have no lot nor part with the truth. Because the other day, the Labour right councillor, you wanted to be a PNP somebody, you couldn't wait till you hear about the two PNP. You said the Labour right councillor PNP. You see Ethics Straight. Somebody say you're astray. And I believe you are really astray. You know? How can you pay helper when you only get $2,000 on your pay for the month and the helper gets $4,000 increase per month? I saw somebody asking a while ago also that if when the PNP win, teachers won't be leaving. What I can tell you, Ms. Burke, is that the PNP are putting plans in place to entice our teachers to stay. We're going to give them lands. Ensure that they can get a house. Yeah? We might can't pay them what we want to pay them right now. But there are enough crown lands in Jamaica. And we in the PNP believe in land reparation. And that's why we have done Operation Pride. And I dare anybody to show me a land project that the GLP has done over all the years that they have been in Jamaica. Show me a land project that the GLP has done better than Operation Pride or better than land lease by Michael Manley. Operation Pride, PJ Pattison, land lease Michael Manley. Show me the GLP land reform where them give people land. And I see one little clown I talk about Narragites. What you know about Narragites? You don't know nothing about Narragites, man. Go sit down one side. Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, caller, good evening. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Elizabeth with the Accident Claim Helpline. How are you?
This is who?
Elizabeth with the Accident Claim Helpline. How are you doing today?
No, this is Caribbean Radio HD. You're live on the air right now.
I'm here because we have been reported about a minor road traffic accident.
All right, not for this show. Not for this show. So, Narragites have over 400 lots cut up under Operation Pride by the People's National Party. So every house we see upon Narragites is an account of a PNP administration giving land to the landless, making people proud of themselves by owning their own house. Yeah? So, if the road dig up to get bad, only government can fix it. So what? It's still HAJ money fix it, you know?
Colin.
Yes.
When Showerman and Nephew and a few more of them come on,
we want to know an institution that the Jamaica Labour Party set up that's benefiting Jamaica today. And let me give them the National Insurance Scheme.
That's the one.
Yes, and let me give them heart.
Yes.
And we know our heart go already, you know.
Yes.
But let me give it to them. Tell us now, one of the something who will benefit Jamaica right now, what the Jamaica Labour Party have done. I don't call Andrew Holness name because he have none.
Tell her.
There is none. So make we use the Jamaica Labour Party. So tell them to tell us something that benefiting Jamaica today, what was done by the Jamaica Labour Party. And we give them two.
And as I just tell them a while ago, I want them to come with the GLP land program. We give people land. No want to hear that one too.
Yes, we're begging them.
Come with the land program and come with the institutions set up by the Jamaica Labour Party that have been benefiting Jamaica.
Yes.
Like when the PNP talk about the NHT.
Yes.
Like when we talk about the Tourism Enhancement Fund.
Yes.
Like when we talk about PATH. Like when we talk about the Sports Development Fund.
Yes.
Like when we talk about JSIF. Like when we talk about the Health Fund.
Yes.
Like when we talk about
the National Stadium.
Sure, man.
And we can go on and on. And if they want to be nice to Andrew Holness, tell we an institution that Andrew Holness set up.
Me teacher. Me know one teacher. Me know one that him set up teacher. He set up the Integrity Commission, teacher. He set up, yes, teacher. He set up the Integrity Commission, and right now, he might take off the roof and say, "I'll lick down the wall." Then.
Yes. So Showerman, come in, and you too, nephew. You come back because after your call this evening, somebody asks how you escape Bellevue today with that rubbish where you come on and attack. We're begging them, and we're begging Marlon Morgan to come to because that's how we are listening. And before I go, Colin, ask Marlon why the Senate not having any sitting for the past couple of weeks.
Yes. That we should have did ask him Saturday morning when he run in.
Because they're running away from the 11 question that Lambert Brown is asking. They're avoiding it.
But I want people to watch Reasoning with Rattigan. He did a program on Saturday. That he went through the drill. The man put up every part of the drill. Go through the drill. All the customs receipts were on show. How much money them spend for the drill? $83,000 them spend for the drill, you know. The man them buy a whole set of parts for the drill that wasn't in the contract, you know.
Wow.
I don't know
why.
I don't know how they beat that tellers.
Me watch them dancing, and when I look at the dance was a quadrille.
Tell her.
Come in, Marlon Morgan, come in, Showerman, come tell us what the JLP has done for the Jamaica Labour Party. Even Buster Manty was better because Buster Manty did not get selfish sucker go give them down a Westmoreland.
Later,
all right.
Yeah, so one of those sit them out there and I ask questions for social media. Call the program and ask the questions. And we will give the answers. It has been a wonderful evening. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Saturday morning, we're going to have Philip Palwell because the PNP have a plan to cut Jamaica's energy bill. You're paying a whole heap of money to JPS now. The PNP have a plan to reduce energy cost in Jamaica. And we're going to be talking to Philip Palwell. Yeah, man. $83,000 them claims that them spent to buy the drill. That work out to less than 15 million Jamaican. However, we paid $31.5 million for the drill. So we have the drill as a scandal. Cornwall Regional as a scandal. Mombasa Grass as a scandal. Used car scandal Hello, good evening.
Mr. Bell.
Yes, sir.
I'm the first time calling your program.
Thank you very much.
Well, let me ask you something. Off the book. Why you vote PNP when you vote? Or if you vote PNP, why?
I have since I've been 18. Since I have been 18, I have voted in every election. And it was only one time. There was one time when I never voted for the PNP. Because I ran as an independent candidate and I voted for myself. But every other time I have voted for the People's National Party, and I'll tell you why. When I was a little boy growing up in a community called Shrewsbury, after the 1980 election, when there was food shortage in Jamaica, if you go buy bread, you have to buy a pack of stay free if you get the bread. You go buy saltfish, you might have to buy paint. Because the PNP had a slogan at the time says stand firm. And the GLP says stand firm and eat worm. So what happens is that the GLP organized the shopkeepers in Jamaica and people who were selling food at the large sellers, wholesale, to lock down the food. And after the election, they carried the mackerel come dump on a place named Chris Corner. Round the sting for weeks, months round the sting for, because they hide the food for the Jamaican people to win the election. And I said to myself, I will never support a party who was willing to starve the nation so as to get state power. Further to that, I realized that the institutions that keep this country going have been built by the PNP. Anytime there is a mass distribution of lands in Jamaica for people who don't have land, it has been done by the People's National Party. The progressive agenda of Michael Manley impressed me. Equal pay for women, maternity leave for women. You understand? No bastard, no there again. Them something they impress me. I was also impressed. Go ahead.
Anyway, I hear you enough, Mr. Bell, but let me tell you something. And as I said, I'm the first time on your program. You need to get away from Michael Manley era.
No,
because what you're saying, no, hold on, you talk and I'll listen. Your program. What I'm trying to say to you, all of what you're saying now doesn't give me a substantial reason why anybody should be talking about the People's National Party. No.
No, but hold on.
Straight up.
Hold on, but the question you asked me, you asked me is why I always vote for the PNP. If you're asking me why I'm going to vote for them this time, the argument would be different. Plus, I wasn't finished. Me never reached PGA. Me just never talk about PGA. When I hear like you want to say something, so me stop. And then we could have tell you about Porsche. But if
what I'm saying to you, Mr. Bell, move the binoculars from off your eyes, my brother. Because it is clearly seen that you are still not seen properly. Straight up. I'm telling you.
Okay. Tell me why.
If you are talking about PNP party, which is your party, what this administration is doing now, why PJ Patterson has never done that before? What has caused the People's National Party to make Jamaica so bad over the 18 years that they have been in power that it take this little man from Spanish Town to come and fix this problem?
All right. So let me tell you about the 18 years of PJ Patterson. And PJ wasn't there for really 18 years. But let me tell you, PJ Patterson built the first highway in Jamaica.
Mr. Bell, listen. Listen to me, Mr. Bell. You know what I say? I listen to your program and I am a labor, right? Don't get me wrong. I want you to talk with I want to use the right word because I don't want you to think that I am. Because when I talk, people say I talk too strong.
Hold on. Let me ask you a
I want
question.
to talk with lockety, my brother.
Did PJ Patterson build the first highway in Jamaica?
But I'm saying to you, nobody is benefiting from highway now.
Oh?
No.
All right.
Listen to me now.
All right, hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on. I'll give you that.
Come and tell. Hold on, Mr. Bell. Listen to me, man. Don't come and tell this generation about highway. Nobody want to hear about PJ Patterson highway. Because that highway does not owned by Jamaica until this day. So
hello, hold on. Stop.
Yes.
The highway is now owned. The first highway that was built is now owned by the Jamaican people. That's why them sell shares. Them just sell shares in highway, brother.
But I'm saying to you, Mr. Bell, come off that legacy because
no, man, but you can't tell me. Hold on a little bit.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Hold on. We have to put truth front and center. You just said the highway is not owned by Jamaica. That is not true. That highway is now owned by the Jamaican people.
What I'm saying to you
is that a
that's
fact?
Not a legacy
Hello?
for you.
Hold on. Is that a fact?
I am not disputing you that.
No, man, you just
said.
say, hold on. Right? Remember, you just said the highway is not even owned by Jamaican people. I'm going to tell you, say that's not true. The highway is now owned by the Jamaican people. So you're wrong. All right. So we will leave the highway. PJ Patterson brought in place TF, Tourism Enhancement Fund. Is that true?
Yes. Go ahead again.
Are we benefiting from that right now?
Yes. At what cost?
PJ Patterson brought in JSIF. Are we benefiting from that?
At what cost?
What do you mean at what cost?
Saying.
Hold on for me. Hold the line. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Colin. I've just been listening to the call a while ago, right?
Yeah.
I am a first-time caller.
Thank you very much, my dear.
And I am neither a JLP nor PMP. But I will be voting in this election. And let me tell you why. Because I listened to the caller and none of what he's saying makes no sense to me. I'm going to explain my situation and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to vote this election. I am a mother of three boys. One get $2,000 per day. One get 12, and one get 4,000 for the week. Okay. I am a middle class, upper class. I used to work, but I used to work overseas. Now I settled down and decided to spend time with my family back home. Now, when I look at situation, my husband is paying for the year almost 1.5 million in taxes. There's no road, there's no water, and in the hospital, I cannot test to certain things that happen to me in the hospital. I'm not going to go there, but I thank the doctors for saving my baby life. And the reason why I said that is because I'm so grateful to that doctor. And that doctor reassures me that if my baby should have a chance in life, take the baby from the hospital and go home and take care of the baby because the baby pick up an infection in the incubator. And my baby was losing weight. And the doctor said, there's nothing more we can do. Take the baby and go home. And I said, then doctor, then when we take the baby and go home, what am I supposed to do? And he said, care for the child as how a mother would care for anybody. Give the child the love, give the child the home remedy. And that's what I did. And let me tell you, my baby born 3 pounds, and my baby was almost touching 1 pound little bit.
Whoa.
You hear what I said to you?
But the baby is still alive now, right?
And thanks be to that doctor.
And to God.
Thanks be to that doctor today. If I should see that doctor again, I lift her up and hug her and kiss her so much.
Yeah.
She did what any mother, I don't know if she have any children, but she did what any mother, any stranger, any auntie, any niece, any uncle, anybody would I do to try to save a child life. So when this man is talking, he's telling you to take the glasses off of your eyes. I am seeing quite clearly, Colin, because I'm a mother of 3.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about not just myself, I'm thinking about my husband and other people that travel the road. Persons who are in the hospital, nurses and yeah.
I wish I could be able to talk to you a little bit longer.
I'm going to cut it short.
Yeah, we're not in the studio today and we have to run, but finish up.
Yeah, let me just cut it short.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to come out and tell us to vote for GLP or to vote for anybody. Let us make that decision on our own, the working class people, the mother and the father who has to go out there and work hard. You understand me? We pay taxes. Let us decide for ourselves. Do not tell us what to do. We are here, we are sitting and we are watching and we are the undecided. That's all I have to say. And when the undecided get up and do what they have to do, Andrew, you're kind of dark. And I am one of the undecided. And I'm telling you, I'm carrying people behind me. I'm telling you, I am carrying people behind me. Don't come and preach to us because you're not making any sense. The economy is not going nowhere. We're feeling it out there.
All right, caller. Thanks for the call. Don't stay away from me. Call me back tomorrow. And I want to say to the gentleman I was talking to earlier, I want you to call me back tomorrow.
Yes, Mr. Ben.
You're still there.
Let me ask you.
All right, hold on. Make me and you make a time for tomorrow because the truth is I have to run. I can give you another minute, but I have to run.
Let me ask you what the minute that you have to give me, and I want you to answer me fairly. Out of PJ Patterson and Andrew Holness, who is the better prime minister that has led Jamaica?
PJ Patterson without a doubt.
All right, Mr. Ben.
PJ Patterson without. Call me tomorrow and we have this discussion.
Mr. Ben, please go and sleep and get your eyes tested because you're not seeing well, my brother.
You need a brains. Because if
you're going to meet PJ Patterson with Andrew Holness, it is clearly
you need a brains. What institution have Andrew Holness built since he been prime minister? Tell me about the institutions that he has put in place.
You are so political naive that you don't know reality. We talk again.
All right, my brother.
You don't know reality. PJ Patterson, come on.
Later.
You should not be the...
PJ Patterson was the longest. I can't take no more call with people. I tell you the truth. I have to run. I can't take no call. We are outside of the studio because we have some engagements. And therefore, I can't go another minute longer. I would have loved to take on a call. I want to beat them on the bad, but I'll beat him tomorrow evening. So join me tomorrow evening for yet another program of the Colin Bell Show. May the good Lord continue to bless and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his light and give you his peace. Until we meet again tomorrow evening, Colin Bell saying peace out. Take your call.